It might seem like the iconic Balclutha ship has been docked at the Hyde Street Pier forever, but the National Historic Landmark's history has taken a circuitous path over the decades. The Balclutha was constructed in 1886 by Charles Connell and Company Shipyard of Scotstoun in Glasgow for Robert Macmillan of Dumbarton, Scotland. Her name derives from the Gaelic Balclutha, city on the Clyde, a poetic name for Dumbarton. A year later, she left Wales on her maiden voyage bound for San Francisco. For the next 2 decades, the three-masted square rigger carried tons of cargo between ports in San Francisco, Europe, Australia, Hawaii, and elsewhere. Designed as a general trader, Balclutha rounded Cape Horn 17 times in 13 years. In 1899, Balclutha transferred to the Registry of Hawaii and traded timber from the Pacific Northwest to Australia, returning to San Francisco with Australian coal. Balclutha was the last vessel to fly the flag of the Hawaiian Kingdom. In 1901, a special act of the United States Congress admitted the ship to American registry so that she could engage in coastwise trade. At the turn of the century, the Alaskan Packers Association chartered the Balclutha to run men and supplies for the salmon canning industry. Then, the Balclutha struck a reef near Kodiak Island on May 16, 1904, and was thought to be unsalvageable. William Munn of Alaska Packers disagreed, bought the ship for $500, and renamed her the Star of Alaska. After extended repairs, she joined the salmon fishing trade, sailing north from the San Francisco area to the Chignik Bay in April with supplies, fishermen, and cannery workers, and returned in September with a cargo of canned salmon. For this trade, she carried over 200 crew and passengers, as compared to the 26-man crew she carried as the Balclutha. In 1911, the poop deck was extended to the main mast to accommodate Italian and Scandinavian workers. This expansion is called the shelter deck. In the 'tween deck, bunks for Chinese workers were built. Her last voyage in this trade was in 1930, when she then was laid up after her return home. Steamships went on to replace sailing vessels, and the Star of Alaska fell into disrepair. In 1933, Frank Kissinger, known as a showman, bought the ship for $5,000, and he had grand plans. Kissinger hoped to create a floating exhibit of sea life, but instead, the vessel, then renamed the Pacific Queen, spent a few years as a tourist-focused pirate ship, with wax figures serving as her dangerous crew. The Pacific Queen was also used as a set for several movies, including Mutiny on the Bounty, starring Clark Gable and Charles Laughton. In 1946, Kissinger proposed turning the ship into a floating poker palace docked in Sausalito, but the town's city council and the district attorney's office shot down the idea. In 1954, Kissinger's widow, Rose, sold the Pacific Queen to the San Francisco Maritime Museum for $25,000, but it wasn't easy for her to part with the ship. "I've lived aboard her now for 21 years, she said, "and I feel just like a mother who has to put her child up for adoption. I'm glad she's getting a good home." The Maritime Museum changed the name back to the Balclutha and moored her at Pier 41 East. Many organizations pitched in to help restore her. Shipyards donated space, while workers representing 9 unions donated time to return the ship to glory. On July 23, 1955, the Balclutha opened for public tours, and over the years, school groups and tourists have toured the ship, imagining the days when she sailed around the Horn to exotic ports. In 1985, the Balclutha was designated a National Historic Landmark. In 1988, she was moved to her present mooring at Hyde Street Pier of the San Francisco Maritime National Historical Park.